What I realize is that the catch is not to make videos every week, but I'm already committed to something I said. But still, the catch is to actually to become ready in such a way that whether you make 20 videos a week or you make no videos at all that week should be all derived by you, because you are the best judge of how your participation can interact with the world and what is it that you're focusing on which could inspire the world. How important is your truth? How can you turn on the world? What is it that I can do to turn on the world is the question I keep asking myself. And if I don't have answers, what I wind up doing is whatever I'm thinking about, even if it means that I'm not ready, I make it a point to document that I'm not ready by writing a few extra sentences instead of not at all. And when I'm ready, I'm integrating that into my new self, updating myself. The catch is to lose all the doubts. The doubts arise from fear, so it's important to lose all fears. Stand up for the truth, even if you cannot understand it completely. Not only acknowledge it, but stand up for it. Act upon it if you can spark it. That's the least you can do, and then truth would start to involve you in its plans of whatever it is that you aspire to do without hesitation. This takes practice. It takes alignment. It's as though your body is the instrument, and when it's time to perform, you gotta be in your shoes and be in total control of your instrument. One thing I'd like to make clear is that the music I make is bonus content over the ideologies and philosophies of this channel. If you'd know me in person, in actuality, the music I listen to is very different from the music I play, which is, again, very different from the music I make. So I never really get bored with the music because there's so much variety, it's unlimited. The resources are limitless. So my aim is to do whatever I can, or rather, make sense of whatever I've done, but most importantly, covering the core topics that drive our evolution. Because the main aim of this channel is to see a united world without any discrimination or jealousy. Of course, there should be guidelines for self-development, but people who are near about enlightenment should not find it difficult to reach for whatever it is they want or desire. That includes a fulfilled lifestyle and access to psychedelics. The reason why I'm sharing these experiences is that it takes courage to say these things, because most people wouldn't even be able to bring it to words. And the second is that what do you think should be a solution to this? One of the reasons it's taken me this long is not to hold the music to myself, but I've been skeptic about whether it would work out the way I have thought it would, because I hope I can have my time accounted for. A lot, a lot of my time was spent in creating music alongside hustling corporate jobs since 2015 and contemplating that's about 10 years of repeatedly listening and adding the elements I analyzed would be worthwhile. And not only because I've got something valuable to say along with the music, but also to help the rest of the world become an active participant. I want to bring Atlantis back. I don't know what you know about Atlantis, but I have it in my mind that it was a very advanced civilization without any hatred or selfishness, without any jealousy, without any fear, wherein everyone coexisted with utmost love and joy. Until the slightest intrusion of the ego and the self-doubt is what caused it to collapse. I can regulate its structure over and over in my mind, and to think of it as an ideal ecosystem which had no room for crime until a certain point. I want to re-evaluate the same frequency of no selfishness and no jealousy within our system, but although I know it's highly impossible to reach there, and I'll talk about the reasons why, but I want to at least create a way for my well-being, if not for everyone, because it requires everyone to be present as well, which is not in my hands, or rather not a choice that I make. I can only do as much needed to propel the energy spectrum around me. Whether you want to join this energy field is totally your choice. Because like I said, the root cause of all evil is shyness and hesitation for the right cause. The shyness and hesitation needs to be dissolved quickly without any delays by whoever is the observer. Because shyness and hesitation may indirectly result in the next biggest crimes of this country, of this century actually, and you may have felt the separation has already begun. And since we're already doing very well with the silicon chips, it wouldn't make sense to collapse like Atlantis. So I request everyone to be authentic, especially the women. I know you guys have a lot of attitude, but please understand that not all men can be the provider. We are all we all have different levels of intelligence, and whoever is doing well should be the provider. If that is an initiative that you can take, else you can live in your attitude, just show everyone your ass, and put on that makeup and hang out with your male friends. But also know that you're only fooling yourselves between each other. Same thing with the grouping system. Sometimes I see 10 guys are hanging around with one girl, or 10 girls are hanging around with one guy. Not only does it look odd, but it's also clear that none of them are capable of doing anything between each other. Such things are only valid in the porn industry. But anything apart from that is just fooling each other and then going back into their own respective rooms at night and repeating it the next day. You might as well hold hands if you're hanging around in such groups. And then there are other weirdos. Let me tell you an incident. So at one point of time, I used to take shared cabs, thinking maybe I could have some flings with like-minded female passengers, but I don't know how the algorithm worked, that my co-passengers were all males. Or either the cab driver would cancel my ride beforehand. It was weird. So I changed my name on the app so you couldn't tell whether I'm a guy or a girl. And so what happens is I'm on the pavement and the cab arrives and there is a girl sitting in the rear seat. I kind of guessed she was available but hesitant. So the cab stops and I see the driver is sitting on the right side and the girl is sitting on the rear seat diagonally opposite to the driver, and the seat next to her is free. And I could have just gotten in, but now listen. As soon as the driver notices me, he says, "Let me turn the car around," and without me entering, goes and turns the car around and stops with the front seat of the car facing me. At that time, I expected the girl behind to move so that I could sit in the rear seat as well. But she did not move, and I did not ask her to move either. So I got into the front seat, and obviously nobody spoke, and there was this weird silence. And I dropped off before her. So what I learned from that was that you gotta be quick. Although I could have asked her to move, or I could have entered from the other side, but I wouldn't approach her, you see. The driver was quick, but he was jealous. I'm not talking about that sort of quickness. In such cases, I fail to realize that the driver is the boss, because it's his car. Obviously, nobody cares about the customer. So the result was that none of them felt my inspiration, because I consider myself to be powerful enough to brighten someone's day. But I had already analyzed that they wouldn't get it, and nor would I. She might have lost something without even knowing. And that is what I want to talk about, is that people who are shy and hesitant should not even know what they are losing. Just let them sit in their pride. You could say that I am proud too, but I'm not. There is a difference between pride and wisdom. And if you have the intelligence, you will differentiate it quite well. There was this other time when I got into the front seat again, but this time there was a guy and a girl at the back. And all of a sudden, the guy says, "Let's book a hotel room." And the girl says, "Let's book a hotel room." And they were trying to involve me too, but I never said anything. The girl looked above average, which is why I thought it could get me into trouble. So I dropped off before them yet again. And I don't do threesome. I consider myself very alpha. So it's either 2 or 4, which was never possible. So I uninstalled the app after that. And I trust my senses very much. Embodiment requires movement of ideas that make sense. I had actually already understood this concept long back, and I also knew how easy it is for the mind to fool itself back again. And the way it fools you, or the way it fools me, is by making me forget. That is the catch. Displacing the already matched coherence with doubt. And it makes sense because the mind is very forgetful. It cannot remember the entire dream, as you know. And it's designed to not be remembered because making efforts to maintain a coherent frequency can be done only with a strong mind. And the catch is also about how many incarnations does it require for the mind to attain or sustain that coherent frequency. If I can feel the residual memories of something in my past life was incomplete, then I'm sure even you can feel these residual memories of whether you have lived a fulfilled life in the past. And I know I have lived a fulfilled life as well as incomplete lives in the past. And the reason I'm here is to get fulfilled once again, or rather get good at getting fulfilled so I can determine my next incarnation. And now it all makes sense. What matters is how effective is your truth. How effective is your work. Any work that you do. I've really been wondering what can I do with this channel and how can I steer it to make it valuable. I understand it has mixed content from music to other things happening in my life, the negative and the positive. I could talk just positive, but I'm talking about negativity too, because it's still a part which needs to be overcome, and I'm being open to document it, which is why I mix it, bring a little dissonance so that we can really understand what resonance is from a new angle. Ideally, my intention was to only have the music, but when the disturbances started, I couldn't help myself to document that as well, just as proof, to defend myself if anything serious happens, like people framing me or trapping me. But what I realize is that even after defending myself, the ongoing disturbances don't seem to stop, and they are still crossing me directly in front of my face and provoking me by making spitting sounds. And although I know how to deal with that, I have been sustaining to not react at all. And since this is a dream, which I always keep reminding myself, there is no guarantee that these people are real. It may just be the universe testing me with NPCs. Not maybe, but I'm sure the universe is testing me, testing my mind. So what I've decided to do is to track my mind as well, because I feel I am ready with the music part and the lifestyle part as well. So maybe I'm going to split the contents of this channel into my second channel when it feels right. So the music part in one channel and the lifestyle in the other channel, and talking about dreams and existence and evolution, and of course, maybe into personal space as well, like attraction and relationships and the disturbances, why not? But only after the channel has reached somewhere. And then I could split the contents like so. That is the plan. But I haven't decided anything on that yet. I feel I need to focus just here for the moment. Because eventually, what I want to see is the divine energies together. Mostly about the feminine and the masculine energies that need to be cured to remove all self doubt and hesitation. And if music can add the ingredients to arrive at that conjunction, then my work will be justified. But I've got to lay the foundation, set my expectations, and predict my projections so I can enjoy the benefits as well. Because it wouldn't make sense to put in all this effort